You're listening to Art Heroes Podcast, the show to help you thrive as a digital artist. Tune in to learn how to transform your passion into a career. Get inspired by other kick-ass 2D and 3D artists, and find out what it takes to be an art hero.
Hi guys, this is Maria JD and welcome to Art Heroes Podcast. And in this episode, I'm gonna talk with the guy who won Monster Challenge that we were hosting just a couple of weeks ago. Joel Morán from Puerto Rico created this amazing piece that went absolutely viral. Everybody reposted it. And I'm just curious, what did this do to Joel, if anything? And how was this piece created? And also what Joel does in normal life when he's not participating in the challenges. So what he's up to, and maybe if we can get any tips from him on how to create a piece that everybody will love. Well, let's see what he has to say. Cheers. All right. Joel, we are now live, and thank you so much for coming to the Art Heroes podcast. And it's actually amazing to see you in person after checking out your work for so long. So yeah, very, very welcome.
Thank you for having me here. I'm really
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, me too, actually. So, just a quick introduction to everybody who's listening right now or watching, whatever you guys are doing. Joel, I know Joel because he won Monster Challenge that Art Heroes were hosting before Halloween, so just like recently. And Joel created this. I forgot the name of the artwork. This amazing pumpkin monster. What was the name,
N-
Joel?
Night, Night of the Living Pumpkins.
Exactly, the Night of the
Yes.
Living Pumpkins. And this is like a crazy example when the artwork just got so viral, um, didn't it?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was really surprised by the amount of track it got. I was not expecting that, so it was really, really fun to see.
Yeah, I
Really, really fun.
know. Just totally picked up. I think it was a great moment for everybody was looking for Halloween related monstrous artworks, I think. And yours was not only a great idea, but it was also beautifully executed. So, yeah, so I wanted to chat to you about what you do in normal life when your work does not go viral, but also a little bit about that artwork specifically. So, yeah,
Yeah,
let's get going.
awesome. Sounds good.
Let's do it. Okay. So, first and foremost, let's start with you. Like, can you just quickly introduce yourself? I don't know, just a little bit about you.
Well, hi. I'm Joel. I'm from Puerto Rico. It's a very small island in the Caribbean. And well, for a little bit about myself, I started doing art from very little at school, like just doodling, and I never thought I could take it seriously, you know. Then due to life events that happened for me, it was actually a hurricane that happened. It was a Category 5 hurricane. I was working as a in marketing and just it was okay, I guess. And then when that hurricane happened, and it's just like this huge shift that everything looked apocalyptic, like if it was going to be the end of the world, on a small island, of course. But still, everything shifted, and that was a good moment for me to think about what I wanted like, for my life, to see all the options I had and all the potential, like all the things that I could potentially do, and art was one of them. So we had no power for over almost a year. So I just
What?
started to, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like to this day, we still have things going on because of that hurricane. And yeah, so I just started doodling daily. It was October actually, and I started doing the, um, is it called Inktober? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I started doing Inktober, and yeah, that's just how it started. Like how my serious career as an artist started, and then I learned about a little bit more about 3D. I'm like, oh, I want to try 3D, so let's do it. And I just got into a really small school just for 1 year, and yeah, now I'm here
Wow.
working working for a small studio here as well. So
Oh,
it's been
and
exciting.
what do you do as an artist, like professionally now? What's the
Well,
small
right
studio
now,
like focused on?
so the small studio is focused on making VR games, like VR experiences for more for closed business. It's not really open, but we just make. Right now, we're working on a golf VR game,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just make all the 3D assets and put them in the engine. And so it's I'm working more of as a generalist right now, focused on 3D
Mm-hmm.
mainly.
Right. Wow. How is it actually? Can you talk to me a little bit? How is it living without power supply for a year? Does it mean that you were running like generators all the time, or?
Yes, we had so we had a generator. We were lucky to have a generator because not many people had generators, and food as well because not many people had a lot of food, sadly. Um, so I remember that I just started with paper, and then I used all my savings from the previous work that I had lost to buy myself an iPad Pro. So whenever the generator would be plugged in and turned on, I would just put my iPad to charge and then use that when we turned it off, so I could draw and learn by myself.
Wow.
Uh, yeah,
This is
it's
impressive. I'm a little bit shocked by the story because it's definitely not the usual way to get started, and I think that's also yeah, really uplifting to see that you made it your career. Yeah.
yeah, I agreed. Like I didn't expect it myself, and it's it's a blessing at the same time, but at the same time, it's like it's not so good that
No,
it
no,
happened.
of course,
Yeah.
of course. But I think it's just we all have different circumstances, and being able to take advantage of global, or let's say your local downtime
Mhm.
to work on your skills. This is just great. So okay, let's talk a little bit about your piece. So I'm just gonna
Awesome.
pull it on the screen. Oh, I'm not gonna do it now, but everybody who's watching already see it on the screen. So can you tell me a little bit about the story and the concept, and how you like came to just creating that?
Sure. Well, I was actually from the beginning I wanted to do pumpkin and do like a creature, not like too scary but creepy at the same time and cute. Just mixing all those things. So I just started doing the random shapes, and that's usually a shape I go for, just round and small. So I went for that, and I didn't have a story developed by then, but I remember one of those nights I was rewatching actually Paranorman. That's one of my favorite movies, and then I remember about Night of the Living Dead.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, so then I was like, oh my god, I can just do something like a Night of the Living Pumpkins, like a night where all the pumpkins come to life just to, on Halloween, where people have to survive it to go through and, the Halloween night. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. So did you count how many times this work has been shared, and yeah, in like different uh platforms?
Uh, I don't count it, but I do pay attention to it, because it is very nice to see. Because I know ArtStation shared it, Marmoset also shared it. I think there were a few other websites that shared it as well, and that I had not realized. And it is nice because I didn't really, when I posted it, I didn't really intend it to be like that. I didn't, didn't play the social media game where you put all those, you tag a lot of
Yeah.
those companies and all that. Like I just put two of them and that's it. Uh, so I was really surprised to see that, and it was really good, you know, good feeling to see that from all the previous works that I've done. Finally, there's this one that they liked and they decided to share on this holiday. So it was really exciting.
All right. So, but besides, like that's actually one thing that I'm curious about because everybody wants to get their work noticed on social media, and as you say, like playing the social media game and yada yada
Mhm.
yada. So, um, what did it mean for you professionally? Did you get something out of it?
Um, well, as professionally, I think I made a lot of connections in terms of people in the industry that do the same thing. I think that's the main purpose and should be the like at least the main purpose of social media. I myself, I admit I'm not that connected with social media for as much as I would love. I would love to do so, but not everyone has that talent of being good at social media, and so I just use it to my advantage whenever I can, and whatever comes from it, well, I just appreciate it and just take advantage of it as well, and
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
Yeah. So, but in terms of like, did you get, I don't know, any collaboration requests or proposals or something that would mean more than just like likes and
Oh,
shares?
no, 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 not really. I just got to know a lot of more people, and a lot of people that work in studios as well. And I also got a lot of friends telling me that, hey, you need to get hired by a bigger studio. I'm like, someday, someday.
Okay, okay. But do you actually want to move on at some point or?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes. Here in Puerto Rico, we don't really have like a stable, how do you say, it, like industry.
Yeah.
It's very like it's on its baby steps, so it's good and frustrating at the same time because you need to make the best out of it, and with not so many tools. So
Yeah.
right now it's just me and a small team of people. Like I only know one other artist like that does the same as me here in Puerto Rico, and that's it. It's very lonely here, very lonely.
Okay, okay. Well, so I guess like at least being connected a little bit better, that are like with other people that do the same thing is already.
Yeah.
Oh, nicer. Okay. Yeah, because it's I was just checking the stats of that post. I'm sorry about being a little bit social media geeky,
No
but
worries.
yeah, but the Night of the Living Pumpkin did really great, and when we posted it, because you won the first prize as the challenge winner. So when we posted that, it was seen by 100,000 people, roughly. So 97,000 or something, but roughly 100,000, which is, crazy if you think of
Yeah.
exposure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, but it's just also, I think, an interesting notion that doesn't all the exposure doesn't necessarily directly translate into opportunities. So there is still a
Mhm.
little bit of vanity. So okay. And can you talk to me a little bit more about the same Night of the Living Pumpkin? Like maybe a little bit about your process and tools, because the work is beautiful. And yeah, maybe just a little bit about your workflow, since I assume there is not much of non-disclosure agreements around it.
Yeah, sure, sure,
Unless you
no
make me
problem.
sign one right now.
No, 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 don't worry. I'm not.
Okay.
Well, as for the workflow, I really wanted to follow the challenges rules, so I started with ZBrush only.
Okay.
I tried to get as much done on ZBrush, and like that's something I've never done before. Try to get it as polished on ZBrush to then later just add minor details on the texture. So yeah, after doing ZBrush, I did all the UVs in ZBrush as well. So I just exported it to Substance Painter to give it that little pop of color. And well, actually, no, I pre-textured it in ZBrush and then I imported that to Substance to just give it a little bit more pop. And then after that, it was just all marmoset and setting all the lights and settings to do a nice render. Um, at first, I didn't think of putting multiple pumpkins in the background until I just decided to make some extra arms in 3D. And then I just started duplicating them. I was like, ah, this is so exciting. It was a really fun process, and I had a blast. But I always made sure, because I also I work during the day, so I made sure I at least put like 4 hours of the night on the project each day. Um, so yeah, that was basically my workflow, just 4 hours at the night, every night, in just 1 week, from ZBrush to Substance, and to Substance to Marmoset.
Yeah. And what was the most challenging for you about this specific project?
Um, I think the most challenging was, I think I got stuck mostly on the story behind it, because
Okay.
I got to a point where I wanted to add more, just to make the story more clear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then more sometimes it's not good, so it was a little bit tough trying to not overdo it. Uh, so I just added minor details, like in the story I had, like it's Night of the Living Dead, but I imagine like it's this ranch or like field of pumpkins where people were working, and then just all of a sudden he wakes up, and then one of them has a garden fork stuck on their head because it was actually a person running away from it. So yeah, I
Cool.
think that was the toughest one.
All right. Well, I think you pulled it off.
Thank you.
So, since now you have this one successful piece behind your back, do you think you will be, that was pure luck, or there is something about it that you know now that makes it likable and you will be able to replicate that?
Yeah, I do. I agree with that. I did notice, compared to other projects I've done before, with this one, it felt more like I was doing it for myself. Um, like my style, like what I want to, like what I like for real. Like, because the past projects I have, it's just me exploring new workflows, or just trying new techniques, just putting a project out there using the workflow for a studio or something like that. So having the freedom to do just whatever I wanted, made me realize that this is a style I like. It's a style I want to replicate, and it's definitely something I'll do again, for sure.
Right. So, talking about the style, actually, I always have hard time talking about the style because it's really difficult to describe. But let's try. Let's try. So, since again, like this experience, what do you think makes your style?
I mean, there's many styles, and sometimes like a lot of styles are very similar to each other,
Hmm.
whether or not you know
I
about them or
warned you,
not.
it's hard to talk about style.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I guess for me, there's this quirkiness in my work, that at least I know that it defines me, and the group of people around me as well know how to, like, say when it's my work and when it's not. So I guess as an artist, you'll, because I don't really know what okay, yeah, it is tough to talk about.
I told you.
Yeah, because
I'm like, man, you're gonna struggle right now.
yeah, because I as an artist, because I know everyone can have a style, and there's a lot of set styles, and I as an artist don't really think of this style. I just do what I love to do.
Yeah.
But I know I have a style, or at least something there that can define me, because a lot of people that I talk to, or whenever they see my work, they know it's me, and I
Yeah.
think that's what matters when it comes
Yeah.
to style.
So basically, for you, having a style is just having something recognizable
Mhm.
that you can, by looking at, let's say, a few pieces, you can connect the dots mentally.
Mhm. Yeah,
So kind of,
agreed.
this is the same guy. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah. 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 No, definitely. Um, okay. So do you bet you can make another like really, really likable piece?
Yeah, definitely. I actually, after I've been on a like an artist train or something like that, and I've been doing more work than usual. So whenever I'm done with my real life work, I just instead of watching movies and playing games, I'm just sitting on the computer, just keeping that consistency and working. So after the Halloween challenge, I actually started working on a new one. It's an alien. I love creatures and I
Yeah,
love aliens as well. So and I love portraits. So I'm doing a portrait of an alien
I
that I
think I've
actually
seen
have in the background.
your
Yeah.
whip on Instagram.
Yes, I have it right here, and it's actually fully textured and everything right now. But
Really?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it.
No, I
It's
don't actually. It reflects, but I'll make sure
yeah.
we'll pull it up on the screen now. So here's the alien, and I'll put a link on the show notes as well. Done.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, thanks for sharing. That was really cool about that project, and yeah, also really really interesting. I also wanted to touch a little bit on the base of VR games.
Mhm.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So I see the your desk and the two joysticks, or what are they
Oh
called?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the controllers for
Yeah, the
the VR.
controllers.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So do you also play, or that's for work?
It's for work, but I also play with it because it was provided by my company, and we were given the permission to use it for our own enjoyment. So I play with it a lot. That's my exercise routine, actually.
No.
Yes,
Okay.
part of it at least, part of it.
Like one of my first experiences playing a VR game. So I also have one at home, and so there was a climbing game. Um,
Oh, yeah,
Forgot the name of it, but I think
declined.
the
I think
huh?
declined by any
Yes, yeah,
chance.
definitely the
Yes.
climb. So I was playing the climb, and it was just like in the start of the lockdown. Well, long story short, I fell.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. Don't
Because I
worry.
was
It's
really
normal.
trying to reach that rock. So next thing that happened, I literally collapsed and almost broke the controller.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I've been there many times, so it's normal. Don't worry.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
part of it.
yeah, yeah. Things that happen. So artistically, how far do you think VR games are from just, um, standard like other desktop games like flat games?
Oh, they're really far, honestly. Because right now, VR, I would say, is at the stage of PlayStation 2, for if that makes any sense. But like it is there, it has a good quality, and you can do something really nice with it. But it's not to that level yet. But it's VR since it's growing, and it just started recently. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get there pretty soon. So it's pretty exciting to see.
Okay. And why do you think it's at the level of PlayStation 2? Because of
Um,
because of the like the physics behind it, because of the mechanism, because of the the visuals, or
all of that, because when you work with VR, you well, at least in my experience, when we work with VR, we try to make something nice and presentable and something that looks visually nice. But at the same time, we need to have in mind that it needs to be optimized, like extremely optimized, um, to a level that is just that becomes the hardest part. Like trying to balance. Okay, we have to make something nice, but it has to be optimized. Like low poly count. All has to be baked. No like real lighting. So I don't know if that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense,
No, it
but
makes sense. Yeah, everything does make sense, of course. Um,
um,
yeah. So, like, would you say that for you as an artist, the actual struggle is to fit, like the let's say the creativity within the technical possibilities?
yes, at least in the game industry, I would say is more along those lines. Although right now the line between games and films is very thin. Like you can do almost the same visuals in both. But still, games require a little bit more optimization, and that's actually some of the things I find really interesting about the industry. Having to make something nice, but having a set of limitations, so you have to like work around it on all the logistics to get something nice and
Yeah.
within that range. So that's why I love it actually.
I think actually some constraints are fine because it also
Hmm.
helps you to take
Yes,
choices, like
definitely,
the main
definitely.
choices that we all have to make. So, and what are like, have you tried like a variety of tools for art in VR? I'm thinking like Quill and Medium and God knows what. And what's your preference if you can choose even?
By tools, you mean like tools
Software.
on the software?
Yeah.
Okay. As software for VR, I haven't really used that many. Like I use the ones in the VR itself, which is like Sculpt
Okay.
VR. Quill as well is another really good program,
Yeah.
which is the software actually.
Yeah. Cool.
Actually, I
Yes.
would prefer Quill. I would say that's on the top for me,
Okay,
definitely.
so you normally like in the within your studio pipeline, you would work with Quill directly.
No, actually no. Just on the way I work on my studio, it's just a basic workflow, just starting in Maya.
Ah,
Then
okay,
after Maya, if I want to add more details, ZBrush or just directly to Substance. But all of that keeping it to like the low poly and optimized.
optimized.
Quill,
Yeah.
Quill, and all those programs, yes, you can use them for your game, but usually they're better for prototyping,
Okay.
and that's pretty much it.
Okay. So, but like, you mentioned that you would personally just prefer Quill. Is it because of the whole experience and usability, or
Yes.
yeah, right? It's quite
Yeah,
fun.
definitely. It's a really, really well developed program. You can do a lot of things with it, like animations, sculpts. You can even do scenes. I've seen people that have done full games using Quill on game jams, and it's crazy the amount of things you can do, which is that. So yes, I would say that's a really good tool to use.
And within a professional studio that specifically develops VR games, how long does it normally take to release one? uh,
Oh,
because again, like I also know about Quill pipeline and like how long it actually takes with Quill, but that's also a little bit more indie.
well, that's a really tricky question because a game can take its a certain time, but usually a game time, a development time is set by when it has to be released. Like for example, the work we do, um, we have clients that they put a set day, or we like schedule a set day. Like, hey, the game's gonna be done by this time. And usually, that I'm not in charge of that. The person in charge of that is someone that's not related to the pipeline at all.
Yeah, yeah,
So
which
they're
is which
yeah.
is a normal way how things work.
Yeah, but usually what happens with that is that they put a time that's not ideal. So there's a lot of crunch time.
I
A
like
lot
how
of crunch
you're
time.
diplomatic about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it because I like working under the pressure. Uh, but I know it can create a lot of crunch time, and usually, if like it all has, it's a collective. It has to work as a collective, and if it doesn't, it's gonna go down.
Okay.
So, yeah, but
So, okay, so the time is not decided by the artist, which is yes, definitely. So that could be, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years.
um, ideally, I would say it depends also on the complexity of the game.
Okay,
But if it's something for say like the climb game, I would say that would just take like 6 months or
okay,
7 months or so.
hmm, okay. Well, that's yeah. Um, that's I know that some like there are games that are never finished in terms of development. There's like an ongoing process. So
Yeah.
6 months sounds nice. for a project, so that you could
Yeah,
already move on to the next thing.
agreed. It's better that way actually, because you don't want to be stuck in the same project forever.
Right. Yeah. And have you ever thought of like making your own project as of like your own game or something?
Yes, a lot of times. Actually, like I have a group of friends that we all have the same interest. So we have a document where we put ideas on games that we want to work or things we want to do as a game. So eventually we're just gonna sit down and be like, hey, let's start production. And yeah, yeah, definitely I want to do that.
Okay, cool. I wanna know when that happens so that we can talk a little bit more about that as well.
Yes, I'll let you know for sure.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I took your word, okay? Not just for the record, but like actually, yes. Okay,
Awesome.
awesome. Yeah. So, Joel, we've got a little tradition here on the podcast. I
Mhm.
think I already uh, gave you a little preview of that. We run a little questionnaire.
Yeah.
So that's 10 questions. You're allowed to reply with a few words.
Okay.
So, and if you're ready, I'm going to put you through this experience before we round up.
Sounds good. I'll
Sounds
do my
good?
best. Yes.
Okay, let's go. So, what's your number one tip for combating distractions when working from home?
Distractions will always be there. Just whenever you're distracted, it means that you need rest. So just do that. I mean, it's not always rest, but whenever you're distracted, just get distracted, but always make sure to go back to work. Uh, at least the way I deal with it is like I put my distractions within my workflow. So if I get distracted and I want to watch a movie, well, I watch a movie while working, and yeah, it's like two in one. So it's a win-win for me.
Yep. Yeah, okay.
Um,
I like how you're kind to yourself. Like, just get
yeah,
distracted.
it's because distractions will always happen, and I think that's and if you want to get distracted but you push it, then you'll get frustrated, which frustration is also really good while working because that means that you're learning. But still, distractions are normal. Just make sure they don't take your whole day, and always make sure to take care of yourself as well.
All right. Great tip, huh? Um, Number two, what's your favorite tradition or holiday?
I would say Halloween. I mean, I have many. I love Halloween and Christmas, so I would say those two.
Okay.
But mainly Halloween for sure.
Okay. Well, this year you definitely had a fun Halloween, I'm sure.
Uh, yeah, I guess.
Kind of.
Yeah. At home,
Yeah, I know.
watching movies.
Yep. Getting distracted.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I've got a question that you partially answered. What's your favorite way to get in some exercise after
Well,
VR?
and so exercise is a little bit tricky because I know it's hard to schedule exercise into your own schedule. It's not something people love, but it is actually essential for us artists because we're sitting down for many hours unless you have a standing up desk, which I don't.
Yeah,
Um,
which I don't either.
yeah. So if you don't have a standing desk, always make sure you do exercise. Like for me, it is. Um, so I don't really enjoy doing exercise because I just get bored of doing the same movements all over again. So I use VR first to just
Move a
get
little
pumped up.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, to start start the engines and all that. And then after that I just either go for a jog or do some
Okay.
stretching or some cardio or yeah, more cardio. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Number four, what's your most used emoji?
I think it would be, I don't know the name of it, but it's like a laughing and a tear going down because it's like I think it's like an anxious laugh.
Yes.
Yeah, that defines me a lot. I'm a very relaxed person, but I'm also a very anxious person. So yeah, yeah.
Okay. Got it. Um, what's your source of inspiration?
My source of inspiration would be Uh, oh my, this is a really tough one because I don't really like track my inspiration. I just get inspired by everything that's around me.
Well, you just
Uh,
answered.
True. But other than that, to be more specific, it would be things like, for example, I love Guillermo del Toro.
Uh-huh.
I also love movies like from like all the Leica production movies. I think they're all great and they have a really cool style. Um,
Yeah, agree with
and
Leica.
yeah, I think those two are one of the mains, and I can't think of any other right now.
Okay, cool. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Okay. The best piece of advice I've been giving is, so I had this T-shirt that once told me, whenever you get frustrated, just keep going, because that's when you learn the most. Because you're just getting frustrated because you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know the like, yeah, you just don't know what you're doing, or so you get frustrated. So push it when you get frustrated, and you'll learn a lot, like a lot. Don't
Wow,
stop when you get frustrated.
that's pretty good one.
Yeah.
So eventually, frustration just means that you're moving the right direction.
Yes, agreed. If you don't get frustrated when learning, it's not good. At
Okay,
least the way they taught me. So
cool.
yeah.
Um, how do you celebrate little victories?
I don't really celebrate little
Okay,
victories, to be honest. I mean, it's not that I don't celebrate it. I love celebrating. So, but like nowadays, at least like when I won uh the Halloween monster challenge,
challenge. Yeah.
yeah, like I celebrate it by just like sharing it with my family and all that, and then my partner just went out and bought a cake, so I guess I just celebrated.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I guess I celebrated very small. um yeah, yeah,
well,
I just keep it to
that's
myself.
still celebration, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It was a good
Okay.
cake.
Yeah, exactly. That's nice. That's sweet. Okay. If you could see one movie again for the first time, which movie that would be and why?
I would go with The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, yes.
Just watched it last
Uh,
week again.
oh, I think it's such a good movie. Like it's a movie I can watch anytime. But the first time I saw the movie, I was so impressed by the like and the time it was created. Like the world, like the world they're in. All the acting was stunning. The story is super fun as well. So yeah, definitely that would be the movie I would like to rewatch from start.
Awesome. And finally, my final question: what's your backup career?
Uh, I guess my backup career would be like I used to work as a photographer before, and I guess that would be technically my backup career, but it's not what I want to do. So it would be I love baking, or at least I want to try to be good at baking. So I guess if nothing goes well in this industry, I'll just go to baking and making cakes and stuff like that. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Joel, thanks so much. This has been amazing, really interesting, and yeah, I love the whole like all the bits of your story, how they all fall in pieces, and like best of luck with everything that you do, and I would see more viral pieces from your side, so that eventually, more consistent action leads you wherever you want to be. So,
Yes, all for the
yes,
best.
yes, amen.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, Joel. Thanks so much for coming on the show. I'm gonna turn up the recording now, and yeah, stay in touch.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers. Thanks so much for listening all the way until the end. If you did enjoy this episode, give us a like, and also let us know what was your biggest takeaway. What did you learn from this episode, and what did you like most of all? Just post it right here in the comments. We really, really appreciate when we hear something from you, and also let us know in the comments what is that one thing that you would like to hear in the future interviews. Well, that's it for today. I'll see you next week. As always, ciao.
Thanks for listening to Art Heroes Podcast. Check out www.artheroes.co for show notes, more interviews, and free tools made for you by our team of mentors. Tune in next week for more inspiration, and keep up the great work, hero.